Okay, so now I'm going to open up another document for you that I have provided for you. It's the bitmap.selection JPEG, and we're going to play around with some of these other editing tools. Again, I could use these selection tools to cut out this character if I wanted to, just like we did with the watch. But for this, we're going to play around with some other tools so you can be more familiar with what you can do with bitmap selections. First tool we're going to play around with was this magic wand tool. What this tool does is it selects colors and values. So if I were to select this tool and let's say click in the shadowy area, you'll notice it highlights everything that's of that dark and value area that's close to each other. So you can see it's making selections in this gun. But what this allows me to do is it allows me to cut out certain color and certain objects if I don't want to have them in my design. Again, I can click this background here and it selects a lot of these bricks. They're of similar hue or similar values, and I can come up here to edit, cut, and totally cut them out, and you can start to see that there's the transparent background being revealed. So that's what we can do with the magic wand tool. You can select value and make simple edits to a photograph and start taking out elements. So I'm going to come up to menu, select, deselect. I've done that now. Now if I want to get more detailed in cutting out this background, I can come over here to this tool, which is my eraser tool. And if you look at your properties palette, remember I've mentioned before that properties palette will reflect whatever tool you're using. So here I have my eraser tool, and here I can adjust the size of the eraser tool, the edge of it, I can make it soft or hard, and the shape of it. And I can come in here and I can do some erasing and really fine-tune this image if I want to cut them out. Again, this is a lot more work I think than would be if I would just use my selection tool and just cut this character out. But you never know. Depending on the background, it might be faster just to take the magic wand tool and cut out a white background or a black background that's very similar. It's up to you on how you want to work. But again, these are options available to you. Also available to you in the bitmap selection are some drawing tools. We have a paintbrush tool. If I were to select my paintbrush, right now the color is black. I can change it to maybe red, and I can add some painting on here. It's sort of graffiti-like, but you'll notice right here I have the option to change it from a soft to a basic to an airbrush to a calligraphy-like brush, a bamboo maybe, and draw. And it's a different technique and different style. Pencil tool is very similar. It will draw a pencil line, but there's not as much options as far as size and dimensions. It's pretty much a straight line as you scribble around. And we also have an option called the clone stamp tool, or rubber stamp tool as it's referred to in this program, which when I select it, look at my icon, it's changed a little bit. Basically it wants to target an area that I want to duplicate. So maybe I'll duplicate part of his face. So if I hold down my Alt Option key, I can click and make a selection. You'll notice that where I held down the Alt Option key and clicked with my mouse, there is a little crosshair right there indicating it's going to copy that part of his face, and then I can draw him. You can see that the crosshair follows along and it's redrawing that character in there. You see that? So that's an option too if you want to make any edits to photographs. Maybe part of his jacket got ruined as I was cutting out the image. I can come in here and copy part of his jacket and add it back on him and rebuild that image back up. Okay. The other option we have here are some editing tools as far as editing a photograph. We have a blur tool where if I were to come over I could blur the face. I'm blurring the eye of this additional image I made right now. So if you want to knock out a background of an image, you can blur the background. We have a sharpen tool where I can come in and sharpen it, and it will sort of sharpen that back up. Maybe I'll come back over to the eye, and it makes it a little more pronounced. And again, that's kind of freaky, but the sharpen tool, if you want to edit a photograph, you can bring out some objects a little more in detail. A dodge tool where I can bring this in and I can lighten up an object. A burn tool, again this will do the opposite. It will darken it and add some contrast. And there's a smudge tool, and what this will do is it will smudge a photograph. So I can click and drag and smudge around the character if I wanted to. So again, they're just additional photograph editing tools if you want to use them. Not an option. What you'll be using mainly in this course is you'll be using maybe your selection tools, maybe the magic wand tool, maybe the erase tool. Paintbrush, pencil tool, These photo editing tools and the clone stamp tool, they're just additional features if you need them. But again, these selection tools, the marquee, the polygon selection tool, and these marquee tools are the ones you'll be focusing on during this class.